size like Chanel. Swimming laps through cool water, eating like I'm underworld. Hide my tattoos in Shibuya, police think I'm out the underworld. 12 treat a nigga like he 12. How you looking up to me and talking?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I get this question a lot. How do you maintain self-love? How do you find inner happiness? How do you, find what you're passionate about? How do you find confidence in yourself? I get similar questions all the time. So I decided to finally make a video about it, and I will be telling you how I maintain my, self-confidence and my self-esteem. Okay, so the first thing that I had to learn the hard way was I had to learn, to change the way I was talking about myself. So what I used to do is I really used to be my number one hater. Like, I really used to just attack myself for no reason. People would tell me things and I would take it and run with it. And when anytime someone said something bad about me, it was like, oh, this is proof that my way of thinking, I'm correct. I am this terrible, awful person. That's something that I had to change. I really had to just stop being so negative with myself, because I feel like that way of thinking gets into your head and it stops you from doing the things that you really want to do. And you could have a great impact on people and be this great, influential, and beautiful spirit and be this great person. But if you don't change the way you talk about yourself, you'll never reach that full potential. So a way I did this was that I made sure that I told myself affirmations, or I wrote these positive things, to myself. So a big thing that I do is that I write on my calendar, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have probably seen the quotes or the phrases or whatever I put on the side. You guys have probably seen that. And usually there's like a little doodle underneath, but the main point of that note section that I have in my calendar is to just kind of tell myself the things that I want to hear, the things that I need to hear, the things that I know I'm capable of. And my thing for doing this is that, not that I don't have the ability to, know that in my mind. The reason why I particularly do it is because of the fact that there are sometimes you have moments where, things just aren't lining up the way you wanted them to, and things are just going terribly. And while it's okay to, allow those moments to happen and, let yourself feel that way because it's an emotion and, it's best to get it out, there is a line between doing that and then also making it worse by telling yourself that you are this, you are that, and you aren't worthy to be on this planet, or you aren't worthy to have success or be happy. So, I think that if you write these messages down of how you love to think about yourself and how you are, I think that it helps you just in those moments. You can say, okay, let me just look at this, and you see, this is you, this is what you wrote about yourself. It's not what someone else is telling you. This is what you wrote about yourself. So I feel like if you write these messages or write these quotes or whatever you want to do to yourself, I feel like it definitely means more to you instead of someone telling you these things. It means more to you. You have to really just be kind to yourself. The second thing is become aware of your flaws and, accept them. Accept, the things that that you have. A big flaw that I have is that, well, number one is, I talk really fast. And that's just something that, I don't know if it was passed down to me by my mom or my brother, but I talk really, really fast. And so I've made it my business to kind of slow down the way that I speak, but I definitely think that sometimes I slip back into that way of talking. And so sometimes I have to just calm down and slow what I'm saying down so that way, I can get my point across. Because I've always been articulate speaker, but the problem is that my mind worked in like this. And then when I spoke, it was like my speech worked even faster than that. So I definitely feel like, I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm going to say, but sometimes I have to just slow down what I'm saying. So that's one of my flaws that I have. But you have to accept that, as for what it is. And, if you can work on changing them or work on just bettering yourself, that's all that really matters. Because, we all have flaws. We're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be, this cookie cutter person. If you're trying to be that, you will never be that. And so I feel like you have to accept yourself the way that you are. Yes, there are things that you can change, and yes, there are things that you can, improve on, but you have to love yourself right now at your worst, and then when you get better, you will love yourself then. Because if you don't love yourself right now, you will never love yourself when things get better, because you'll always feel like, you'll still have those insecurities in the back of your mind, even though you have improved and people are telling you, hey, you improved, and the facts are there, but you just can't see the facts because your mind is blocking it. Another thing I do is that I'm my biggest supporter. Now, yes, I do have friends who support me and friends who, love me unconditionally. But for a long time, there was a point in my life where I would say probably from 8th to 9th grade, even though I had close friends, we didn't see each other as much, and I really had to rely on myself to be my biggest supporter, because a lot of times people would say things to me and just, go out their way to disrespect me. And, I would just feel like, okay, well, I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't do that. And it was really, I had kind of a aha moment, that just kind of told me, you need to support yourself. You need to promote yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to, come on now. You need to be your biggest supporter, because no one's going to support you the way you support you. No one's going to ride, as hard as you do. And yes, you have your close friends who are going to do that, support you too. But I'm saying, as far as the things that you do on your own, you have to support yourself. I think it's really important to do that. And the earlier you learn that, I think things just become a little bit easier. The next thing is, don't hate on people doing good. So I know this might seem like a no-brainer, but you might be hating on people without even realizing that you're hating on them. You might think it. You might not actually say it, but you might think it. And so that goes into, changing your way of thinking. But don't hate on people that are doing good. Don't hate on people who are, starting a business and, making money, and, let's use an example. I'm going to talk about a particular soap company. You guys might have heard of them. I'm not going to say their name, but if you know, you know. This person started a soap company, and they're selling soaps, and now things are finally taking off and everything. And they have friends or people that they knew who knew them before, and before they had all of this. If you, as one of the friends, or let's say you just know this person who has this business, if you start acting rude to them or just start trying to discourage them, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for you to get upset at somebody for doing something that's bigger than them. They're starting a business, or they're, let's say they're doing community work. There's no reason for you to hate on them. And I know I'm not saying hate, I'm using hate to be extreme, but just don't talk down on them because of the fact that you're not doing that. I honestly feel like you can't get mad at somebody for doing what they wanted to do. And if they're doing a good thing, if they're doing something that's positive, impactful, that's helping other people, they have a soap company, and people's skin, their skin is doing better, and they're helping people gain confidence. If they're doing something positive, there's no reason for you to hate on them. There's no reason for you to get upset at somebody for seizing an opportunity and making their dreams a reality. Is just absurd to me. You need to reevaluate and support that person and try to understand why you feel this way. It's a common emotion to feel jealous, to feel discouraged because someone else is doing something. And I think that you have to really just work on introspection and really just analyze why you feel this way and how you can take what they've done or what they're doing and use that as sort of like a driving force to inspire you. So turn that jealousy into inspiration. Another thing I do is that, I like to nourish my body, mind, and soul. So I do this by taking care of myself, skin-wise, health-wise. I try to just do things that make me feel good. So, even if I'm not a dancer, I'll, sometimes dance, or I'll take a walk, or whatever the case is. These are ways of, getting my body active or just moving. Another thing I'll do is, I don't do this all the time. I'm trying to get better at it, but I do meditate from time to time, center myself and focus on my breathing. And, I'll do that for as long as I need to. And I think it really is good to just do it as often as possible. Sometimes I only get to do it maybe twice a week, but I definitely would suggest, doing some meditation. It helps your stress. Stress is something that really can be harmful to our body. Another thing is that when you're stressed, you also can't sleep. And, I think when you have work to do and you just push through it anyway, I feel like not meditating or not taking time to rest in that way is, causing yourself to be mentally exhausted. And then when you burn out, you will have no energy to do anything. Another thing I do is that I focus on my goals. So the way I focus on my goals is that I will write them down, and I write them down in my agenda, which I've been using a lot more this year. I decided the start of senior year that I was going to be everything I ever wanted. I didn't succeed entirely. I did do a lot better compared to my junior year. My junior year, I was definitely a lot less organized. I was definitely a lot more stressed, and I definitely was trying to just keep all the knowledge or everything in my head. And I definitely feel like writing your goals out is definitely a lot better. Even if you have like a tablet or whatever and you write it down on a tablet, that's fine too. In your note app, that's fine. But I definitely think that writing something down at least will help you. Writing your goals will help you focus on your goals and hit your goals, and just kind of give you a deadline of when you need to do this. I think that's really a good thing to do, because you're not losing sight of what you're supposed to be doing or the things that you want to do. Another thing is that if you are in a relationship, remember your value and what you deserve. I think that a lot of times we go through these stages of trying to impress people, regardless of whether you want to say it or not. You want to show people the best side of you. You want to show people, who you are and why they should be with you. It's just a natural, innate habit that humans possess. Sometimes in that process, we'll go through trying to change ourselves because we're trying to just be whatever that person wants us to be. And I feel like it's definitely important to remember who you are, what you are, and how you are, because you want to make sure that you're not going through this stage of changing because this is going to make this other person happy. And that's part of the reason why I have been single for so long, because, I just have to make sure that I'm not changing my values, or I'm not changing myself unwillingly. If I'm changing myself willingly, then that's different. But I'm saying I cannot do that because I feel like this is what I need to do to please this person. So yeah. Another thing that I do is that I just look back, and this goes with introspection and analyzing yourself. I look back at where I've been and where I came from and how much I've grown. So for me, one thing that I can say is that my self-esteem, I grew a lot in that aspect. Ninth grade, I wouldn't have even done YouTube. I was so nervous to even do YouTube in 11th grade. I felt like I didn't want somebody to see it and then, somebody to tell me, oh, you should stop. I was so terrified because for a long time, there were people who really just went out their way to make me feel bad for no reason, who just went out their way to tell me that they didn't like me. And at that time, it comes with, being a high school student. I just wasn't ready for that. And I think that junior year, I took a whim and I just decided to do a YouTube channel. And my main reason for that was because I had started with Instagram, IGTV. And if you guys have been watching me long enough, then you guys probably remember my Let's Talk series, which I stopped because I was terrified of someone finding it. I was terrified. I had people that used to watch it, and I had a decent amount of engagement when it came to it. I stopped doing it because I was just mainly before my camera. Basically, I was saying that I wanted to create an atmosphere that felt real and genuine. So then I ended up creating my YouTube, and I was nervous. I was very nervous, but I did it, and I don't regret it at all. I just hope to continue to grow and continue to be better and become a better editor and stuff like that. So yeah. And the last thing before my camera dies again, because I can't have that, remember that you're not perfect, and that's okay. That's just me re-ingraining it into the skull, the noggin. Remember that. Don't strive for perfection, strive to be the better you every day. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.